Imagine you're out hiking in the woods, maybe exploring near the stone foundation of an old, long-gone farmhouse. Or perhaps you're simply digging a new garden bed in the backyard of your own historic home. Your shovel hits something with a distinct clink. You dig around it carefully and pull it from the earth. It's a glass bottle, thick and heavy, in a deep, dark amber color. It's embossed with strange lettering and maybe the picture of a building or a person. Your first thought is probably, cool, an old bottle. You might take it home, wash it off, and think it would look nice sitting on a windowsill, catching the light. A neat piece of local history, but nothing more. But before you relegate it to a dusty shelf, you need to understand what you could be holding. What if that bottle wasn't for a common soda, but was a rare whiskey bottle from a Wild West ghost town saloon? What if its specific, brilliant color and crudely applied top mean that it's a 150-year-old artifact? What if that single bottle, buried for a century, is a prized collectible that bottle hunters would pay hundreds or even thousands of dollars to own? Today we're digging into the past to uncover the colorful, historic, and incredibly valuable world of antique American bottle collecting. Before the age of plastic and disposable packaging, almost every liquid product in America came in a glass bottle. Whiskey, beer, soda, milk, ink, and a vast, bewildering array of medicines and cure-alls known as bitters. These bottles were meant to be used and thrown away. And for over a century, that's what people did. They threw them into ravines, into creeks, and most commonly, into the household privy, or outhouse, which served as the designated trash pit for every family. For decades, these glass time capsules lay dormant underground. But now, a dedicated and adventurous community of collectors, known as bottle diggers, are excavating these old sites, unearthing a treasure trove of American history. They understand that these bottles are more than just old containers. They are beautiful, tangible artifacts that tell a story of what people drank, what they believed about medicine, and how they lived their daily lives. And the market for the rarest and most beautiful of these bottles is incredibly strong. So, how do you know if a bottle you've found is a piece of common trash or a rare treasure? The secrets are all in the glass itself. You just have to learn how to read them. The most important factor is age, and there are several key clues that can help you date a bottle. The first place to look is the lip or the top of the bottle. Before the early 1900s, bottles were largely handmade. The body was blown into a mold, and then the lip was finished by hand by a glass worker. This results in a hand-finished or applied top. You can often see a distinct ring or a slightly messy application of glass where the lip was attached to the neck. Common types of hand-finished tops include the blob top, a heavy, rounded lip used for carbonated sodas and beers that needed a strong closure, or a tooled lip, which was shaped with a special tool while the glass was still hot. If you see a bottle where the mold seams stop on the neck below the lip, you are looking at an older, hand-finished bottle, almost certainly made before 1903. Around 1903, the invention of the automatic bottle machine revolutionized the industry. This machine produced the entire bottle in one go, so the mold seams will run all the way up the neck and over the top of the lip. If you see a seam going all the way over the lip, you have a machine-made bottle from the 20th century. Another huge clue to a bottle's age is on the base. The very earliest American bottles, from before the Civil War, were created using a technique where the bottle was attached to a long, iron rod called a pontil rod while the lip was being finished. When the rod was broken off, it left a rough, sharp scar on the bottom of the bottle, known as a pontil scar. If you find a bottle with a pontil scar, you are holding an exceptionally old and potentially very valuable piece. Finally, embrace the imperfections. Old glass manufacturing was not a perfect science. The glass is often filled with tiny air bubbles. The surface of the glass can have a whittled or wavy texture, caused by the hot glass being pressed into a cooler mold. The bottle itself might be slightly asymmetrical. In the world of antique bottle collecting, these are not flaws. They are celebrated signs of age and primitive craftsmanship. Just like with glass insulators, in the world of bottle collecting, color is king. A common bottle in a rare and beautiful color can instantly become a treasure. The color was determined by the minerals in the sand used to make the glass, or by specific additives used by the glassworks. The most common colors you will find are clear and aqua. The vast majority of medicine and food bottles were made in these colors. While some rare bottles in these colors are valuable, The color itself is not a major value driver. Next are the desirable colors, which include various shades of amber, olive green, and opaque white milk glass. Many whiskey and beer bottles were made in amber to protect the contents from light, but certain shades are more sought after than others. And then you have the rare and holy grail colors. These are the colors that make collectors' hearts pound. The most famous is cobalt blue. Many poison and some medicine bottles were made in this brilliant, deep blue color, and it is always in high demand. Other grail colors include deep emerald greens, puce, and fiery reds or oranges. A bottle that is already rare in a common color becomes an absolute masterpiece in a grail color, with its value increasing tenfold or more. The final major factor is the embossing, the raised lettering and images on the bottle. A bottle with clear, bold, and artistic embossing is always more desirable than one with simple text. Figural bottle one that is shaped like something, such as a person, an animal, or a building, is often the most valuable of all. It's the most collected categories of bottles, where embossing is key, are whiskey, bitters, soda, and medicine bottles. Now let's look at some of the legendary Holy Grail bottles that every digger and collector dreams of finding. One of the most romanticized categories is early American whiskeys. The American West was built on whiskey, and every saloon in town had its own local brands. Collectors hunt for the classic coffin flask shape or the pumpkin seed flask. The real prizes are bottles that are embossed with the name of a specific historic saloon or a town that is now a ghost town. For example, a whiskey bottle embossed with J.H. Cutter Old Bourbon from a San Francisco distributor, especially in a rare color, is a classic and valuable find. These bottles are tangible links to the Wild West. Perhaps the most artistic category is figural bitters bottles. In the 19th century, bitters were herbal concoctions, often with a very high alcohol content, that were marketed as cure-alls for any ailment imaginable. To make their products stand out, bitters companies created bottles in incredible figural shapes. The most famous of these is the Indian Queen Bitters, an amber bottle shaped like a Native American woman. It's a masterpiece of American folk art in glass and can be worth thousands of dollars. Another iconic example is the Log Cabin Bitters, a bottle shaped like a log cabin. Finding one of these figural bitters bottles is a major discovery. Even a common brand like Coca-Cola has its holy grails. While the vast majority of Coke bottles are common, collectors hunt for the very earliest examples from before the iconic hobble skirt. Design was patented in 1915. This includes bottles with the Hutchinson-style wire stopper, or the straight-sided bottles from the early 1900s, which were made in dozens of different colors. A straight-sided Coke bottle from a small southern town, in a rare color like green or amber, is a fantastic and valuable find. Finally, there's the macabre but fascinating world of poison bottles. In an era before electric lights, it was crucial to be able to identify a bottle of poison in the dark. To prevent accidents, companies produced poison bottles in distinctive, bright colors and with unique tactile features. Some were made in the shape of a coffin. Others, and these are the most desirable, were embossed with a skull and crossbones. A rare, colorful poison bottle with a skull and crossbones is a highly sought after and valuable collectible. So how does one actually join this treasure hunt? Where do you look for these buried gems? The most dedicated form of the hobby is, of course, bottle digging. This is the adventurous practice of locating and excavating old dump sites. In the 19th century, most household trash was thrown into a pit in the backyard, often the old privy or outhouse. These pits are now time capsules. Diggers use old maps, historical records, and probing rods to locate these forgotten trash pits. It's dirty, hard work, but the thrill of pulling a rare 150-year-old bottle from the earth is unmatched. It is critical to note that you must always get permission from the landowner before ever digging on any property. Other great places to look include old construction sites, where excavators often uncover old dump sites when digging foundations. Creek beds and riverbanks are also fantastic spots, as natural erosion can wash out and reveal old bottles that were thrown away a century ago. And of course, for the less dirty method, flea markets, antique shops, and farm auctions are prime hunting grounds. When you're out hunting, what do you need? A small shovel or trowel, a probe, and a keen eye. Once you find a bottle, the first thing to do is research. Use a reference book specific to the category of your bottle. For online help, bottle collecting forums and Facebook groups are incredibly active, with knowledgeable members who can help you identify a find from a few clear photos. To determine value, the best method is to check the results from specialized auction houses like Heckler Auction or American Bottle Auctions, which have extensive archives of past sales. These beautiful glass objects are so much more than just old, empty containers. They are survivors. They are pieces of American history that have been buried for 100 years or more, waiting to be rediscovered. Each one tells a story of the saloon that served the whiskey, of the quack doctor who peddled the medicine, of the family that drank the soda. They are colorful, tangible links to the daily lives of our ancestors. So, the next time you're walking in the woods or digging in your garden, keep your eyes open. That glint of colored glass in the dirt might be nothing, or it might be the start of a fascinating journey into the past. It might just be a beautiful piece of American history, a treasure that the earth has preserved just for you. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of antique bottles, please hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and tell us in the comments about the coolest old bottle you've ever found.